Okay, I'm on page 143, and we're going to talk about taking ownership. By the way, boy, I was really torn on what to talk to you about today because I have notes from Gary Keller's Top 100 Mastermind a couple of weeks ago. And boy, this is powerful stuff. Really, really good stuff. You want to know what's going on in our market right now? You want to know what's going on in the economy right now? Pending recession, housing shift, all of that, then make sure you're part of Survive to Thrive tomorrow because it's can't miss TV. Okay, here we go. Bottom of the page 143. A victim allows his or her success to be limited by external circumstances. Juanita gave us a great example of what that sounds like just a few minutes ago. A victim allows his or her success to be limited by external circumstances, people, or events. As long as we continue to be victims of our circumstances, we will experience life as a struggles and others as a threat. Now, I want to slow down and ask you a couple questions. How can you tell if you have victim think? And as I'm reading this morning, Nick, I'm thinking of how it's speaking to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. In that particular example of the time period that I'm thinking about, I was a victim. I was thinking like a victim. You can tell that you're thinking like a victim when you're not celebrating other success. You can tell that you're thinking like a victim if you look at someone sharing on a Zoom meeting, not Diane, just anybody, and you're like, oh my gosh, that person again, here they go. I don't want to listen to how great their life is. You can tell that you're thinking like a victim if you see somebody's Facebook post with blank, 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 sold another property. And you're like, good for you. I'm not happy. Now, if that's resonating with anybody, good, because you can stop. How long does it take to stop? That long. We'll get into that in a moment. Accountability, on the other hand, allows you to gain control of your life, to shape your destiny, and to fulfill your potential. In other words, if you want to be that person who's posting on social media that you sold another home, you took another listing, you can make that happen. You have control of that. Accountability, on the other hand, allows you to gain control. In other words, you control this. You control your life. To shape your destiny. Your future is a choice. You get to decide the journey that you're going to go on and to fulfill your potential. Accountability is simply taking ownership of one's actions and results. Accountability is not about blaming yourself or punishing others. In other words, what are the consequences if you don't do blank? No, that's not accountability. I know that you've heard it presented that way, and that's not accountability. Remember, no one can hold you accountable. You're the only one who can do what? Hold you accountable. Accountability is not about blaming your, I already said that, never mind. Stance in life, punishing others. It is simply a stance in life in which people acknowledge their, next page, role in outcomes. What role do I have in this outcome? Where is my DNA showing up in the daily results or the lack of those results? This position that I find myself in, where's my DNA in this? What did I do to cause this? Accountability is not concerned with fault, but rather what it takes to create better results. Until we accept ownership of our actions and our outcomes, we will be helpless to change or improve our results. Once we accept that our actions have an impact on the outcome, then and only then are we truly empowered to create the results we desire. When we acknowledge our accountability and focus shifts from defending our actions to learning from them. Failures simply become feedback in the ongoing process of becoming excellent. Unfavorable circumstances and uncooperative people don't prohibit us from reaching our goals. We do. The market is the market. Sales are down across the country. Sales are down here locally, 18.9% year to date. And there are more real estate agents in our country than there ever has been, ever in the history of time. And I get a report every week of all of the new real estate agents in our local market. And that report typically has 30, 40 names on it every week. Last week, there were close to 80.
Wow.
If you look back at the last shift, the market shifted in April of 2006. And you're like, how do you know? Well, I was selling real estate. I could see it happen right in front of me. Shifts show up in longer periods of time on the market, fewer showings, fewer qualified buyers, doing open houses and seeing less activity at those open houses. Now listen to this. It was 2008 before the prices started to drop. It took 2 years for us to see a decrease in market value. Hey, by the way, it was 2016 before the values got back to where they were in 2008. Just a teaser for tomorrow. Okay. All right, page 145, middle of the page. There are always roadblocks and setbacks in any worthwhile endeavor. So are you on a worthwhile endeavor? Say yes. If you're a part of this group, I know you are, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't. Therefore, are you going to have setbacks? Mm-hmm. Are you going to have roadblocks? 100%. There are always roadblocks and setbacks in any worthwhile endeavor. Hey, by the way, that's how you know that you're on a worthwhile endeavor. If you're not facing obstacles, if you're not facing roadblocks, if you are just coasting through time, as Zig Ziglar used to refer to it, you're living an amazing life as a wandering generality. Kind of just do the best you can do. And remember, the best you can do leads to mediocrity. That's where everybody else is. You're not facing roadblocks. You're not facing challenges because you're not on a worthwhile journey. It's easy to use them as reasons or rather excuses when you're not able to complete the work that needs to be done. In other words, at the end of the day, you didn't hit your numbers. At the end of the week, you didn't hit your numbers. At the end of the month, you didn't hit your numbers. And you start looking for reasons or results rather than looking in the mirror and asking, what could I do differently? What's the one thing that I'm currently not doing that if I were to start doing it today, it would move me closer to my goal? What am I currently doing that I need to stop doing? There may be certain circumstances beyond your control, so life happens. You hear me? Life happens. There's a bumper sticker that puts it another way. There may be certain circumstances beyond your control that derail you. Insurmountable obstacles that no one in his or her right mind would expect you to overcome. Adversity. You are either in adversity, heading for adversity, or coming out of adversity. And adversity is what? Oh my gosh. Come on.
Preparation for greatness.
Say it loud, Shirley. You got it.
Preparation for greatness.
Yes, adversity is preparation for greatness. Thank you, Shirley. Somebody's listening to me. All right, page 147. Let's get an action plan and let's go. Number 1, resolve never to be the victim again. Write it down. Resolve never to be the victim again. Notice when you are making excuses and settling for mediocrity. Pay attention. When you find yourself making excuses and settling for mediocrity, you are being a what? A victim. Focus on the things you can control. Accountability is first a mindset, then an action. To live your vision, take ownership of your thinking, actions, and results. So success is 90% mindset, right? Yes. Right? Now listen to this again. Focus on the things you can control. Accountability is first a mindset, then an action. To live your vision, take ownership of your thinking first, then your actions, and then the results. Take responsibility for how you think, and then the activities, and then the results. They're in that order for a reason. Number 2, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Feeling sorry for yourself produces nothing but self-pity, and if you do enough of it, depression. Number 3, be willing to take different actions. If you want different results, then you need to be willing to do things differently and do different things. That sounds an awful like E to P to me, you know? Mm-hmm. E to P says we have a ceiling of achievement, and everybody starts out working entrepreneurially, doing what comes natural, doing what comes easy, until you hit that ceiling. And in order to break through that ceiling, you have to become purposeful. And listen to this again. If you want different results, if you want to break through that ceiling, then you need to be willing to do things differently and do different things. If you want something you don't currently have, you need to do something you're not currently doing. All right, now pay attention to this next sentence. Take action, taking action will not only change your outcomes, it will also change your attitude. All right, so here's what I want you to hear. 90% of success is mindset. However, how you think doesn't always come first before you take action. Sometimes you have to take action first, and then how you think will change. If you wait for the motivation to show up, if you wait until you feel like it, then you'll never do it. However, do it, and how you think will change. Number 4, associate with accountables. In other words, pay attention to who you're hanging out with. Who in your life is an eagle helping you soar versus being a duck pecking at the ground for scraps? When you associate, who you associate with matters. Stay away from victims and excuse makers. Treat that mindset like a daily contagious, like a deadly contagious disease. If mindset was contagious, in other words, you can catch somebody else's mindset by hanging out with them. And mindset isn't a cold that you're going to get over in a couple of weeks. You can go to the doctor and get a prescription, and in time you feel better. Mindset can be a deadly disease that will affect you the rest of your life. There's no vaccination for it. You can't wear one of those mask things on your face and not catch somebody else's mindset. If you hang out with people who have stinking thinking, you're going to catch stinking thinking. Find a better tribe. Now, when I talk about this, one of the first questions that somebody asks me is, John, when that person is a family member, someone that I love, how do I protect my mindset when I can't, or I don't want to disassociate myself with that person? My answer to that would be a positive influence on the other person. If their stinking thinking is contagious, let your unlimited thinking be contagious. Okay, talk to me. What'd you hear? Raise your digital hand, raise your physical hand if you're in the room.